Mandela layers, overlapping realities. What it means in plain language, think of a room where one person sees a table, another person sees a couch in the same spot, a third person sees nothing at all. The room is the same, but each person sees a different version of it. That's a Mandela layer. Multiple coexisting versions of reality on top of the same physical space. Why it's useful? It lets you show different information to different users, run multiple worlds in the same physical location, switch between versions like filters, what's happening in your system. You're stacking multiple digital realities on top of the same ENU space, the east north up. That's basically um, latitude, longitude, and height, elevation. Each layer, okay, uses the same physical coordinates, shows different objects, applies different rules or transformations. It's like AR VR channels that share the same map. Co-located cross-origin crafting. What it means in plain language, imagine two people building something together, but one person's 0 point is at their house, the other person's 0 point is at a park. If they want to build in the same shared space, their systems must translate. Where is your object relative to my origin? This translation between different starting points is cross-origin crafting. What it matters, why it matters. Different devices, apps, or users may each have their own local coordinate system, starting point, orientation. To collaborate, they must convert between these systems so objects line up correctly. What's happening in your system? You're creating a method for taking objects from one ENU origin, translating them into another ENU origin, making them appear in the same shared space. This is how multi-user AR shared 3D maps and synchronized digital worlds work. Putting it all together. Simple summary. ENU, you created a local 3D space around a real location. Mandela layers. You overlay multiple versions of digital reality on top of that same space. Cross-origin crafting, you allow different users or systems to place and build objects together even if they started from different coordinate origins. Final plain English explanation. You're building a system where a real location becomes a 3D digital workspace. Multiple realities can exist on top of that workspace. People or devices with different starting points can still build and interact in the same shared world. It's essentially a shared 3D map with multiple layers of reality where everyone can collaborate even if they're coming from different coordinate systems. All right, so, and this is how he's proposing his threat, and he's controlling my friends. Also, because this is how it goes. Basically, um, so a space point is co-located at your at, at attaching a signal to the person. Let me put it this way. All right. Imagine a roving tab. If you look up the term roving tab, it's where law enforcement also it's also used by law enforcement. A signal is uh, doesn't need a device in order to trace a person, so it's tapping the person, not the device. All right. So imagine that roving tab has a signal placed on you or allocated. I mean, attached to a person. All right. All right. So once that point on that point that's making contact with the person, there is a that's the center of the spherical coordinate system. That's calculus 3. And so now there's a dome, a biodome or a dome that is wrapped around you. Not wrapped, but more like you're inside of a biodome. And so inside of that dome, there is you're the center. And so now there's a 3D, basically, imagine several vertical lines at different elevations. There's a point, and so you're inside of the bubble where it's now able. There's a habitable, I guess you could say, digital world that is being shared with you, and basically you're not able to. You might, um, even though it's like it's virtual, um, it's still a point that is gonna be that you're gonna be carrying around with you. Um, but it's fixated. Basically, uh, at 3 feet, he collocates or assigns or a space point or a coordinate, and this coordinate is activated or is active as a node, and so the node carries energies and uh, potential uh, that may cause interference or shit like that. Well, on the autonomy of the model that shows up, basically the model is um, your replica or replicating or impersonating you as an avatar on a digital screen. And so inside of a bubble now, the coordinate space points are making contact with the person or with the autonomy. And so everywhere that there's on your person, there's on your autonomy, there's also connections or contacts. And so those are able to simulate um, effects or be used to basically like cause disruptions and interference. Well, he's using it to basically collocate the center of spherical coordinate systems inside of the cranium of the model or of the head, and so from there he's able to use interpreters, interpreting agents, or lab stream layers, um, basically to retain insights and to shit like that. Uh, you can also like get on GitHub and find Medusa or look up BCI and search up for just lab stream layers, and then you'll see what you can play with. And so that alone exposes state inventory uh, and uh, deprives involuntary civilians from their um, private reservation, and also is attached as an extension as a side endpoint. So that's what's going on. And so now now you see that you have a model inside of a bubble. For that bubble, you can encapsulate another one outside of it, and that's how you create the layers or the encapsulating layers.